The sixth episode of Star Trek Discovery Season 5 finds Captain Mikey and crew chasing down another clue to the Progenitor Device, and it features a classic Star Trek storyline dealing with the Prime Directive.
We are all sworn not to interfere with other lives in the galaxy.
I actually watched this episode twice, and no, not because I loved it so much. It's kind of because I fell asleep the first time watching it.
You'll need to rebuild the motherboard without shutting it down by accident.
You know, I granted it could have been some alcohol consumed, could have been late at night, also could have been just because it was kind of boring. Regardless, we have, of course, our main storyline featuring the quest for the clue for the Progenitor Device.
Are you up for a little quest, donkey?
But as always, we stick in a couple B storylines, and one of them features Adira, the Trill human hybrid, non-binary person, whatever. Anyway, Adira is serving on the bridge and is apparently all very nervous and awkward about it.
Definitely pre-warp and pre-industrial. There's no functioning electrical grid.
I don't get this predilection for what appears to be awkward crew members like Tilly and Adira just stumbling and fumbling over themselves. It's like they all have ADHD or something. I don't know. Maybe there's a 32nd century equivalent of Adderall. Can we just like pipe that into the replicators and give it in their food? Possibly. Regardless, Adira ultimately helps Burnham solve a problem and gains confidence. So yay storyline.
Yay!
The other B story is Culber and this ongoing spiritual awakening he's having. First, he tries to deal with it, get some help by talking to a holographic version of his grandmother.
Quiero cocinar nuestro mofongo pa Paul, pero no recuerdo la receta.
Nene, yo no tengo tiempo para mofongo.
Honestly, it's all Spanish to me, but the program gives him an idea to run a medical exam to see if maybe there's something physically wrong with him. So he goes to his husband, Stamets, to help him run the scan.
Well, when was the last time you and I got to work together? Might be nice.
Nothing as romantic as a neural scan.
The scan reveals nothing, so basically Culber realizes it's a spiritual thing, and Stamets basically says, well, just enjoy it. It's so rare that something like this happens given how complex the mind is. In the end, Culber sits down and shares some of his grandma's famous replicator, Mofongo, with Book, who I guess he's made some sort of connection with, and they talk about spiritual awakening.
What's going on?
I'm having a spiritual awakening.
I suppose this is probably going somewhere tying into the overall theme of the consequences of finding the Progenitor Device. But honestly,
oh my God, who the hell cares?
I really don't. But, possibly ties into the main storyline about getting the clue to the Progenitor Device. So apparently Captain Mikey and the crew can't figure out where to go from the last clue. But fortunately, as in all RPGs, they get some help from NPC.
Knowing the identity of the vial's creator might prove useful.
Found the names of the scientists.
In this case, it's Kovich who shows up again because as far as I can figure, Cronenberg's got nothing else going on, or like he owes money to someone on the Discovery, production crew, whatever. He gives him a clue and heads him off to the right direction, a pre-warp desert planet called Halemno, where a Denoblian scientist, one of the ones involved with the Progenitor search, has installed some weather device, a disguised weather device, to help control the weather and create a habitable environment for the natives. Before Burnham and Tilly beam down to Halemno, they learn a little bit about Halemnite society. Apparently they use something called Whistlespeak, which is a form of whistling to communicate various ideas, concepts, instructions, whatever.
The whistling. It's a component of their language.
Now, it's the name of the episode, right? So it must be important, right? Right?
On that, you could not be more wrong.
Basically, we get 2 or 3 minutes of Whistlespeak in the entire episode. So I don't have any clue why they even decided to call this Whistlespeak. It's a throwaway. It's for no reason. They could have just called it Halemno or Weather Device or some other damn thing. I don't know. But Whistlespeak serves no purpose. Oh, but it's also important. We learned that the Halemnites have 3 genders. Why is that important? I don't know, but we got to get our DEI ESG point somehow, don't we?
Social justice, 1, 2, 3.
Once on the planet, Burnham and Tilly join up with a group of Halemnites who are on a spiritual, ritualistic journey to go worship at the High Summit, which is actually the disguised weather tower. And along the way, they also meet a young girl whose name is Rava, and she's the daughter of a priest named, Ovaz. And this girl is really, really eager and excited.
My father brought me here after my mother died, and he became priest of the summit.
Let her regain her strength, Rava.
But they were on the front lines. When my turn comes, I'll clear that dust twice as fast as anyone else.
Regardless, they all get to the High Summit, which where Burnham thinks the next clue's hidden because the Dernoblian built it. And the summit, honestly, it's not what you think, because when you think summit, you think a mountain, but doesn't look like that at all. What does it really look like?
But it looks like a giant.
Dick!
Yeah.
Take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
I mean, seriously, look at this thing. Look at this. This is not a summit. It's like a giant phallus or dildo sticking out of the ground. Come on, guys. Jeez, Discovery. To get inside, apparently, Burnham and Tilly decide to participate in a race called the Journey of the Mother Compeer. I guess it's some sort of ritualistic race going back hundreds of years where an individual called the Mother Compeer made a journey, and as a result of her sacrifice, rain happened. So you do the journey and it brings rain because, it's a desert planet, so they got to do that. So it's this race where the participants have to take this pill or something that makes them very thirsty.
Her lungs filled with dust. The thirst was terrible.
And they have to race along, avoiding the temptation of water to get to the end.
A courageous attempt, compeers. You are now disqualified.
Now, Rava decides to join in this race, despite her father's wishes.
Are there any messages you'd like me to bring to the gods when I see them?
Running day?
Now, it appears to be a grueling race, so people are struggling along the way. They're passing out. They're begging for water. I don't know what the heck they took, but it just totally dehydrated everybody. Burnham is getting exhausted, and she kind of takes a time out.
I just need a minute.
But guess who keeps going?
I'm the queen of endurance. Body in motion remains in motion.
Yeah, that's right. Tilly. The pinnacle of Starfleet physical fitness. Tilly keeps going. Try to deal with that reality. Actually, Burnham bows out so she can track down the control panel to the weather device and kind of reactivate it, make certain it's working.
We got lights.
Meanwhile, Tilly and Rava finish the race.
Let's go meet the gods together.
And they get to go into the summit. But guess what? When they get into the summit, it's a ritual sacrifice. Yeah, that's right. The Halemnites put the winners of the race in the summit, have all the air sucked out, they suffocate, and apparently this appeases the gods and causes the rain to come. So, yeah, great idea. Burnham, when she finally realizes this, she says, okay, now it's time to violate the Prime Directive. Why? Because Tilly's life is at stake.
No, you beam me in now.
You'll be revealing yourself to a pre-warp civilization.
I'm aware.
Now, legitimately, I could go on about the Prime Directive because there are a ton of episodes, and probably, that's its own video comparing what Burnham does to what Picard, Kirk, Janeway, Cisco, with all the prior captains of Duff, not Archer, of course, because there was no Prime Directive back in Enterprise. But let's just focus on what Burnham does, because her whole thing is she will not let Tilly die. So as a captain who's sworn to uphold the Prime Directive, what does she do? Does she come up with a way to save Tilly without completely violating the Prime Directive?
Of course not.
No. Why would she do that? Why would you do that? But basically what she does is she tells Rava's father that their whole belief system was a bunch of crap.
The sacrifices don't bring the rain. Okay, technology does.
There are no gods. It's a giant pillar of technology let there by Denoblian scientists. It's not the gods, it's technology.
Technology? It was placed here hundreds of years ago by an alien race.
He says the word technology like he doesn't know what it is. Why would he? He's on a planet without technology. Regardless, he doesn't want his daughter to die, so he helps Burnham save Tilly and Rava. And in the end, they get a clue and they go off to chase after Maul and Locke, everyone's favorite star-crossed lovers.
Not those guys again!
Like, as I said, generally, Prime Directive episodes always relate to how the captain, the crew, deals with solving the problem while not violating the Prime Directive. Honestly, they kind of do a lot. You can go back and see it. There are a lot of minor violations, but how does Burnham do it here? How does Burnham do it here? Burnham literally rips apart the whole theology of an entire civilization, their entire mythology, their entire existence up to this point is being told it's a lie.
Are there no gods? Are there? What is there?
That's exactly why the Prime Directive exists, to prevent this kind of interference. But could she have done something different? Could she have found a way to save Tilly without explaining to them that the gods aren't real, that everything they've been doing is false, and all the lives that have lost have been for nothing? Probably. But why would Burnham do that? Why? I don't know. Burnham doesn't follow the rules. It's been made very clear throughout Star Trek Discovery. Burnham doesn't follow the rules.
I think rules were made to be broken.
And of course, like we've seen before, I'm certain there will be no consequences to Captain Mikey breaking the Prime Directive, very much breaking the Prime Directive. I mean, it's not like she did something as bad as Raynor and caused an avalanche that almost destroyed a civilization. She kind of did.
You're on my ship now. I expect you to do things my way.
Mikey gets away with everything. There's something else that I noticed about Mikey in this episode. Not only does she break the Prime Directive, I just don't get her as a captain. I really don't. I don't know if it's a choice by the actress to be all giggly at awkward times.
Hello, no.
Or to have this weird whispering tone whenever she talks.
You can learn so much about a society by the way the individuals speak to one another.
I just don't get the sense of command from her. And it's more like, like in that episode before, she wants to be friends with the crew. When she told Raynor to get to know the crew, she wants to be friends with the crew. And in the end, we see her and Tilly in the chamber where they were all, Tilly and Rava were going to die. And literally she's locked arms with Tilly. Like they're gal pals, just hanging out. I'm Captain Mikey, and I'm just hanging out with my bestest gal, Tilly. You're the frackin' captain, for God's sakes. Why don't you act like it? So, yeah, this was a much longer episode than it needed to be. I'm thinking less it was wine to put me out and maybe the episode. But 6 down, 4 to go. One more clue to the Progenitor Device left. Who knows what's going to happen in these definitely exciting next 4 episodes? Questions, comments, witticisms down below. Click all the good buttons, you know which ones to click, and I'll see you guys later.